Hello everybody and warm welcome to my channel, Tarot by Izabela. I am very happy to see you here today and I hope you're all doing fine, even if we live in quite crazy times for the moment. Today's video will be a continuation of the intuitive horoscope readings. And today's video will be about the water signs of Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. And as I did in the two last videos, I will do the same. I will use my tarot cards and oracle cards and dice and put them on different piles representing different areas in life. But before we begin this reading for the water signs, I must thank you all, you wonderful, wonderful viewers, for all of your support to this channel. So I'm very grateful for all of your comments, your mails, your sharing, caring. Everything that you do really, really helps and gives a lot of strength to continue producing more videos. So a big hug and a lot of thanks to all of you. I also need to mention that these horoscopes, intuitive horoscopes reading that I'm doing, are not normal horoscopes readings. Since I am not an astrologer, I have really no clue whatsoever how to read astrologic charts. For me, is like a Greek and Chinese language combined. But the thing is, I do not do more personal readings, and I know a lot of you would like to have a personal reading, but really there is not enough time for that in my life. And as a small compensation for not being able to do personal readings, I thought this kind of horoscope reading on different areas in life is a sort of a way to compensate for not doing personal readings. And what I see in those piles or in those readings is not associated to stars or the position of planets. It's more the energies that surround that specific star sign, and it's those energies that I try to interpret and make some sense, put words onto them. And I know I had some comments that, well, I'm a pensionist, I cannot have children. Yes, these readings are for all ages. For example, if you are in a period of your life that you are past that you can have children, still the energy of pregnancy may be around that sign. Meaning, if you cannot get pregnant, maybe someone very close to you, your child or grandchild, will get pregnant. So still the energy, for example, for pregnancy will be touching you in one way or another. And if you are quite elderly person and you cannot work anymore, maybe a different kind of work will come to you that you will be occupied in, doing something for a community, or maybe getting a reward in return, and so on and so on. So that yeah, it's not written in stone that it must be, for example, a pregnancy, but the energy of the birth of a new child, new life, will be around you during that period of time. So that was just a short explanation. But enough talking. I guess all you water signs want me to start doing this reading. So now we'll begin. And we will begin with water sign of Cancer. So, Cancer for the months of August, September, and October 2026. First, I need to shuffle the cards and concentrate on the sign of Cancer, so we can try to catch the energies that may come to you, the things that may come to you during this period of time. Cancer, Cancer. And we're gonna start with the pile for health and well-being for Cancer. Love and emotions. Finances. Job, school. Family, friends. What can come as a warning? And what can come as a surprise? Now I need some oracle cards and dice on each pile. And some dice. Okay, and the cards and dice for Cancer, they look like this. Now, let's see. Will we begin with health and well-being for Cancers? In that pile, we have the Death, 9 of Coins, 3 of Swords, the Absence, and Bottle. Yes, for many Cancers, it could be a quite sensitive period where a lot of emotions will go high wire, from up to bottom, from up to down. And the cancers in themselves are quite sensible for big changes, for things that affects them emotionally. So their emotions are so much bigger or stronger than the other star signs. What could happen in the lives of Cancer regarding health and well-being is that there are some big changes coming in. There could be, for example, those that have not been so happy in their marriage. Maybe there is a divorce coming, and maybe that divorce is not really expected, or it kind of, the relationship ends quite brutally or not in a so nice way, and that could also trigger that storm of emotions. And it's important when you Cancers get hit by a storm of emotions, try to calm down. Here we have the cards absence and bottle. Don't try to calm down through, drinking or taking some strange pills or whatever. That will ultimately affect your health very, very negatively. Even if, for example, a divorce or some big changes doesn't necessarily have to mean that they are negative changes. If you look at a longer turn or further in the future, those changes may have been the best that could ever happen to you. But in that moment when you're leaving that change, it may not feel like it. So please calm down. Don't react too much to whatever can come in as a big life-changing situation for you. Here it also says Cancers that really like to perform. They want to be seen, and they want to get compliments, for their hard work. And there could be some changes at work that will also trigger them. Could be a promotion. You're going up, and it could be overwhelming with new responsibilities and things like that. So calm down, calm down. It's not that bad as you may think. Could also be that in a positive way. For example, cancers that are waiting for a surgery or have some kind of medical condition that needs some surgical, smaller or larger. Maybe when you go for a recheck, they don't find that health problem anymore. Or if there is something, it cured itself and you don't need that surgery. Things like that could also happen. And some of you Cancers may, unfortunately, hear that someone you work with at your job, a colleague, will pass away quite quickly and unexpected due to, for example, drinking, driving while drunk, or some abuses with medicines or drugs. And that can also come as a shock. It doesn't mean that you do it, but you could hear, and it will be, quite emotional in that sense. Everything will be okay for you Cancers. Just try not to be overwhelmed. Now, let's see regarding love life, love and emotions. Here we have Queen of Cups, Seven of Wands, Queen of Wands. Expect news and messages. And here we have Sag. For me, this looks like there could be some kind of discussion or argument between two women. A Cancer person and another woman. A Cancer woman and another woman. Could be a close friend, could be a family member, something like that. And that other person will accuse you for something. And of course, you will react. I did not do this. And that could be a start for a discussion. So the other person will this woman will try to provoke you. And don't fall into that trap. Don't let her provoke you. Just leave. Just don't listen. Talk to the hand. Something like that. And go away from there. Because she's quite a mean person. She really wants you to react negatively. And try to be the wise one in this situation. And this also goes for people in relationships. Someone could be, if you're a couple, your husband's relatives or friends, someone will try to start an argument. Or if you are male Cancer, maybe your wife's friends or someone female will try to start argument. So there could be a discussion regarding a female in relationships. And the same goes for you that are singles and are not in a relationship. Some female will try to make a problem for you. And that is especially for singles. If you are single and you would like to meet someone, there could be a little bit confusion. You have to be extra careful not to mess in a relationship. For example, if you are a female woman and you meet a new man, and that man may be already in a relationship, but he's lying to you, and you have to really be careful that he is single, so you will not have a crazy female knocking at your door. And if you are a man looking for a woman, you also have to try to be a little bit careful. She could be in a relationship, and some other woman connected to her could try to make problem with you. And for those that are singles, I really want to be in a healthy relationships. For them, I see somewhere November, December this year, someone quite nice and good for you could enter your life. And that is both for men and women, Cancers. Yeah. Now, let's go to finances. And here we have the Sun, 5 of Wands, 6 of Wands, a foot, and a drill tool. Drilling tool. Well, quite positive news regarding finances for Cancers. Some quick improvements. And I would say unexpected. For example, if you have a normal salary of, let's say, $1,000, suddenly the next month your salary goes up to 1,500 or 2,000. So something very positive regarding money. And you will do a lot of footwork when you have that extra money, because the list is long of things you would like to buy. And so you don't get foot ache running around in the shops when that extra money comes in. It also said almost not all cancers, but a lot of cancers maybe like beautiful footwear, shoes of some kind. So during this period of time, maybe your dream shoe was some shoe you have been looking at for a long time but could not afford it, finally will be affordable for you. Okay, so positive changes for the finances. Let's go to job and school. And here we have King of Cups, the Emperor, the Fool, work, occupation, and dilemma. Mm-hmm. There could be some changes regarding work. Some cancers may think about quitting their job and maybe start their own business. And there will be some kind of business proposal or something that comes up that really makes you want to start that business, and there will be possibilities to do so. At the same time, you will be a little bit in a dilemma. Shall I start a new business, or shall I keep the old one? Since in the old one I know already what I have and I don't get any real mistakes, but the business sounds so exciting. And if you happen to be in that situation, please do some research what you really want. Feel if this business idea is good or if it's just a fantasy. Look it through, and I think many will be able to start a business. And also for those that are working, maybe you will have a very positive conversation with your boss. Something the boss will propose for you, a different kind of work. Or maybe you get offered a position, a boss-like position in your work. Mm-hmm. And those who do not have work, it's a big possibility that a different kind of job offers will come, and they will find themselves in a dilemma. Shall I take this job or this job or this job? So there will be a little bit confusion there. And for those that are studying, there will be a lot of work. Could be some decisions you have to make. If you're going to take that course or that course, a dilemma. You like to know this subject and that subject, but you have no time to study them all. Or you will have some important conversations with your teachers or headmasters or so on. So now, let's see for family and friends. Here we got 2 of Swords, 5 of Cups, Queen of Coins, a key, and a guitar. Mm-hmm. Family and friends. There could be, during this period of time, some kind of funeral for cancers. It could be, doesn't have to be someone very close to you, but it still could be someone you know, a family member you did not get along so well with, or something like that. Yeah, we're all going that way, down under. There's sooner or later, and this time it will be for some woman that will pass away. A woman that liked music, a lot of music, or she was fan of a specific kind of music. I don't see this like a young person. I see it more like an older person. Mm? And even, or someone very close to you, like a very close friend, someone that they loved or they liked will pass away. So you will, or maybe you will have to help a woman in your family or in your close relationships, like friends, with a burial, because she will, really, she will not know how to do it. So maybe you will help someone with it. Yeah. But I don't see like big sorrow or a lot of tears for you, Cancer. Now, let's see for warnings. Here we have Knight of Wands, King of Coins, the Devil, a dark city with a crow flying in the sky. And here on the dice we have seas. Like you see something. Yeah, the warning here is for scammers, pickpockets, someone that observes you secretly, that really want to scam you or hurt you in some way. And for Cancer, especially if it could be quite emotional period, be very careful for scammers. Don't click on emails and links that you don't know where they come from. Be extra careful who calls you. Be extra careful regarding mails. When you go out in city, try to avoid to go alone in dark areas and, shabby areas. Because you could get robbed or something else. So be extra careful during those 3 months for scammers, and things like that. And it could also be romantic scammers. If you're single, someone sends you a message on Facebook or Instagram or whatever. Oh, you're so beautiful, or whatever your profile. And don't fall it because it's a scam. It's those romance scams. So be extra careful during that period. And what will come as a surprise for you, Cancers? Here we have the Empress, Nine of Cups, the Moon, Pathway, and some ping pong rackets. Even if it looks a little bit horrible, but it's really not. What will come as a surprise, many of your wishes will come true if you are a little bit awake and don't fall into some dark traps. You will be able to go your path and it will be very successful. And here also, for those that really wishes for a child, there is a good chance that a pregnancy will come during those 3 months, or a healthy child will be born during those 3 months. And you could be nicely surprised that many things that you wished for, positive things that you wished for, may happen during August, September, and October. Yeah, so that was my reading for Cancer. Now let's continue to Scorpio. Let's see what we can expect for Scorpios. Now I need to concentrate on Scorpio and shuffle the cards a little bit. Scorpios. Here we have for health and well-being for Scorpios. Love and emotion. Finances. Job and school. Family and friends. If there are any warnings. And what can come as a surprise. Scorpio. And finally, sometimes. And the cards and dice for Scorpio, they look like this. So now let's see what we have here for Scorpio. In the pile of health and well-being, we have 8 of coins, 3 of swords, the hangman, the arrow, and war. The cards strongly recommend you not to go into any fights or discussions or, I want to give back because you said so and I'm gonna say 10 times worse. Try to avoid conflicts. Concentrate on other things. Scorpios have a tendency to think about past conflicts, past personal wars or bigger wars, and revive them over and over again in their minds. Try to avoid that because it can put you down. I also see Scorpios that do avoid those things, and they will concentrate on their well-being. And it could be a period of time for Scorpios that they will deep dive into different kind of could be alternative medicine or alternative treatments to make them feel better, or to make them leave a state of not feeling so well. Many Scorpios have been victims for, evil treatments, from close ones, but also from like hospitals or things like that, different areas. And you will enter a time in your life, Scorpio, that you will be able to grow and develop in a positive and healthy direction. And remember, those that caused you harm, those arrows that they send towards you will turn back and hit them that hurt you. So whatever you send out, you will receive. And could be some comfort in that those that hurt you will not be able to hurt you again, or anyone else. Mm-hmm. And this especially goes also for past relationships, divorces and things like that. They could, if you are in the middle of divorce, don't get provoked by your ex partner, and brush it off, because they will try to provoke you to do something, and then they can point the finger at you. Oh yeah, look, yeah, you're not so good, are you? But if you stay calm, everything's gonna be fine. Now, let's see regarding love and emotions. For Scorpio, here we have Ace of Wands, the Chariot, the Star, Heal Inner Wounds, and a Magic Wand. For those Scorpios that are in a relationship, it looks like this relationship will go stronger, and maybe you will make a journey together, and you will find almost like magical things happen to you, or you'll be able to read each other's thoughts, or some strange psychic experiences. And if you are single, or maybe have been in a very bad relationship, you will be able to heal a lot of your wounds during this period. And at the end of this period, there is a big possibility that someone that really, really is good for you will come into your life, and it will feel almost like magic. All the coincidence, even if there are not any coincidence, will be in place, and there will be something to talk about for a long time. Now, let's go to finances. Here we have the Magician, 8 of Cups, the World, book, and some like bottles or containers for experiments. Yeah. And for those Scorpios, there will also come a time now that from nowhere you will find yourself in a position of better economy. That will also feel almost like magic. Suddenly, there is a big change for the better. And even if you have tried, for example, if you are a little bit into the, esoteric things, maybe rituals or manifestation things, and you have been doing experiments, different kinds of areas, and suddenly, whatever you have tried to manifest comes into your life, and it's almost like something you only read in books. It's not something that is true, but it will be true. Mm-hmm. And many Scorpios will come into a period of life that they will be able to concentrate their thoughts, their feelings, their energy. So the mechanism behind manifestation will work very quickly and very strongly. And that is because you're going to be able to leave a lot of hurt behind and concentrate on your well-being and not get provoked by negative people and toxic energies thrown at you. Okay, now let's go for job and school. Here we have the Wheel of Fortune, Two of Coins, Ace of Swords, unexpected money, and a football, soccer ball in USA. Here, Scorpios, you also have very positive cards. Maybe if you have only been employed for a test period, finally you get that contract in your hand, that this position of work is secured, and you will feel more balanced. You will know for sure how much will come in every month, and that will be a very good thing for you, because you will need that stable ground to stand on. It could also be that you will expect a bigger raise, more money through work. And the Wheel of Fortune, it almost feels like you will be struck by luck. And for those that do not have a job and wish for a job, this period of time is exceptionally good to find a job that you really like in many ways. In the salary, in the things you have to do at job. And regarding students, if you have been applying for certain schools or certain subjects, you will get them. And there is also a balance in school. Maybe you will start to learn some kind of sport, and that will also be very positive. For example, if those Scorpios that do sport more like a profession, you will get promoted or maybe a bigger salary. And for students, very positive things. Things will go quite well, and good grades. What about family and friends? Here we have Ace of Cups, 10 of Wands, 5 of Coins, a heart, and ouch. For many Scorpios, someone close to you, could be in your friendship or in your family, could for a period of time suffer some problems at job, with finances, and you may feel obligated to help them out for a period of time, and that will be responded with a heart, a positive thank you, and a loving feeling. It could also mean that someone close to you, close friend or family member, will go through a separation or some heartaches, and you will be there to help them, console them, and things like that. Could also mean that someone close to you will fall in love, and that person really is very nasty for them, and that they will get like a wake up call, and oh my god, open their eyes, I cannot be here, this person is so nasty, and it will be hurt, some kind of hurt, and you will try to help them out. What more? Yeah, it's mainly that what came up in family and friends. Regarding warnings for Scorpios, here we have 10 of coins, 2 of wands, 8 of swords, an owl sitting on a pile of books, and a hamburger. There are no direct warnings. More likely, like, yeah, you will be someone that helps a friend of your close one to go through some important information regarding how to feel better. I see many Scorpios interested and studying, for example, different diets, different alternative therapies, and somehow you will be able to advise some of those therapies to your friends, or some good friend will advise a therapy to you. But since you are a little bit suspicious in nature, by nature, you will want to dig in that information and learn more before you accept any alternative treatment. So that's a good way. One should always do your research before one jump into anything new. And what will come as a surprise for Scorpios? Here we have 4 of cups, 5 of wands, 6 of wands, toil and labor and clamor. What will come as a surprise? That you will be able to leave a lot of toil and labor and negative feelings behind. Many things that have been haunted you from the past, bad experiences and things like that, you will finally be able to overcome them and feel more free and in control of your life. Things will not look so negative, so dark, even if you have had bad experiences. And those bad experiences are in the past. They are not experiences that will come into your life again. And you will, in a way, say goodbye to them. Well, that was my reading for Scorpios. Now, let's continue to the next sign. And that will be the sign of Pisces. Oh, now let's concentrate on Pisces. and well-being for the Pisces. Love and emotions. Finances. Job and school. Family and friends. What can come as a warning and what can come as a surprise. Some oracle cards. Oops. Oh, that fell out. I must take that one. And some dice. Okay. And the cards and dice for Pisces, they look like this. Now let's see what we got here for Pisces. We begin with the pile for health and well-being. And there we have 4 of Swords, 10 of Wands, the Tower, the Spotlight, and a Lighthouse. It could be that many Pisces have felt not so well lately. A lot of, I see them tired, I see them weak, with pain and aches everywhere. And it could even be that a lot of Pisces have thought the worst. Oh my God, I maybe have this and that condition. But the cards here, they say that light will shine on whatever condition you had, and there will be a way out of it, a way for improvement. Cards also say that Pisces have to be a little bit extra careful during this period of time, for example, of tripping and falling, hitting themselves. If you have a cabinet door open in the kitchen and you bend down and up, suddenly you hit the head. Something like that, some kind of stupid accidents. So be a little bit careful how you move and where you put your feet so you don't trip over something. It could also be that, for example, if some Pisces have had a condition for a long time, finally there will be a cure for it or a way to manage that problem. Overall, this period of time, the Pisces should try to rest as much as possible, recover, and find the strength back. Because they have been overdoing things for a longer period of time. They should put the spotlight on themselves and always try to help everybody, even if not everybody really needed their help, but they took it anyway and drained the Pisces of strength. So now it's your time to focus the light on yourself, and you will see a lot of improvements in your well-being. Regarding love and emotions, here we have the Hangman, Three of Swords, Eight of Coins, socialize and network, and a big wave. For those Pisces that have been single for a time and have been hurt a lot in previous relationships and really don't trust nobody, when they come, because during those 3 months they will come in some new persons in their life, and it's like they have to give it, not have to, they can give it a chance. Try to socialize, try to be build a new kind of network, and don't rush into any relationships. Figure out, who is that person? Is this person worth my time and effort, or is it just a wave that comes and goes? And those that are in relationships, maybe you will have, many of you may have period of time that you are not sure if you will continue that relationship or if it's time to let go. But those relationships that are founded on true love, you will find a way back, maybe do something together, start a new hobby, and you will once again feel the same emotion as when you were newly loved. And those Pisces that have decided for a divorce and there is no way back, during those 3 months, I think the divorce papers will be signed. Now, for finances, here we have Page of Cups, the Temperance, the Empress, and a tree. And here on the dice it says rare. They are very positive cards. If you have made an investment, you will see that investment grow and bear fruit. So with time, it's the time to reap the harvest of good fortune. So also there is an increasement or improvement in the finances. if there is some Pisces that have a child, that have been struggling financially, finally that child, son or daughter, will see a breakthrough and rise financially to be very secure. For those that love pets, maybe a very precious pet will come into your life that you wished for a long time. Anyway, after a long period of stagnation financially, many Pisces will see a big improvement in their finances. Now let's see, regarding job and school. Here we have Queen of Swords, 3 of Wands, 5 of Wands, marriage card, and a canoe. It could be a quite stressful period for many Pisces in school and in job. Could be new projects, new things to learn, new chores to do at the job. Could be a new boss or a new teacher that demands more things from you. And it's important to talk about it, discuss it, if it's reasonable or not. And if you are not sure how to do it, ask. And there will be a solution regardless if you are working or a student. And you will be able to smoothly go for a ride in your canoe over calm waters. For those of you that do not have a job, certainly sooner than you expect, a new job will come in. And you will meet, I think, a female boss in that sense. And that job could be quite stressful in the beginning. A lot of jobs are stressful in the beginning before you learn the routines and what to do and how to do it. Now, let's see for family and friends. And there we have Page of Coins, 10 of Swords, King of Cups, a big house, like I mentioned, and baby. Some very close to you, a male person, could be a friend or family member, will move to a new house, new home. And that person will plan to start a family or are having a baby. Or maybe are planning to buy a pet like a dog or a cat. And there will be a lot of talk in your family and in your friendships about health, how to get out in nature, how to find balance, and so on. And also, a lot of talk about could be diet for children and how to raise a child or a pet, like a dog and cat, in the best way. Now for warnings. Here we have the Judgment, Queen of Cups, Queen of Coins, stairway into like a dark door or opening, and a girl listening to music in headphones. The warning is not follow the crowd. That means even if you like some person, or could be even a famous personality, don't follow the crowd into places that are not so healthy for you. Don't close your eyes, listen blindly to music, and you don't know where you're going, and that could be quite bad for you. at the end. Just because a famous person do something in a specific way doesn't mean that it's healthy or that it's good for you. So the warning cards here are especially for discernment. Analyze things and don't follow blindly everyone that is famous in some way. Make your own choices, and you will be able to avoid going on paths or stairs up to a place that could not be so healthy for you. Okay, the last one. What will come as a surprise? Here we have the Emperor, the Fool, Six of Cups, and a Coffin. And here we have bump and a sun behind some clouds. As a surprise. And that could be regarding a very close friend to you or somebody you know quite well. That will cheat death. This person will be so close to dying, or maybe, the heart stops but starts beating again. Clinical death, but will be wakened to life again. A really big bump in the road. And that person, when that person comes back to life, will be changed for the better. Will see things totally different in a positive way. So someone you know will cheat death. Could also be, crossing the road and almost hit by a car with just a couple of millimeters from a tragical accident. Something almost like a miracle will happen. And that will change that person very, very much for the better. Yeah, that was what I could see for the Pisces. And to all of you beautiful, sensitive, loving and caring signs of water, I wish you all the best. Take care out there. Don't get too emotional. Try to ground yourself and focus on a positive outcome. And things will look quite well for you in the coming 3 months. And to all of you, if you have liked what you have seen and heard, please don't forget to press like button, share button, and subscription button. And please remember the next video that's on the air signs will come out 2-3 days after this one is posted. So I will be working soon on the signs for Aquarius, Libra, and Gemini. Well, I want to thank you all so much for watching, and hopefully we're gonna see each other soon again. Bye bye.